Yeah, we are live.
Nice. Awesome. Well, welcome back to Roadster Rants. This is episode 2. We have significantly upgraded our setup here. I am no longer going off my phone, and we're going through Discord now, so things should be clearer.
I certainly
Let
hope
us know. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe there'll be less of a delay whenever we're talking to each other, too. So I did notice that last time.
Oh, yeah. So we got some cool stuff to talk about today, and we'll kind of just... And the thing is, we don't usually go off much of a structure. I think that's kind of our general thing. It's just kind of roll with whatever we're talking about. But one thing is where performance EVs are going, descriptions in cars, and why it's stupid. And I think that's pretty much universally agreed upon. But why it's stupid. And also, I was looking at the new Bronco Heritage Edition.
That's pretty sweet.
Oh, I love heritage cars. Bring more back. Awesome.
But yeah, so man, this, Dodge is going to come out with an EV. How fucking crazy
is
that?
So actually here, I will share my screen. Basically, Dodge is making an EV, and it actually looks pretty good. And this is a video I mentioned last episode.
Hold on a minute. Did we hear that right? Dodge is making an electric car?
We're talking hypothetical, right?
Hypothetical,
sure,
huh?
Just. Dodge? You mean the people who devised the legendary 426 Hemi and sunk it into a sublime missile?
So you actually froze.
I love the fact... what's up?
Like you froze there for like a good, I don't know, 30 seconds.
Oh, my camera or the screen?
This, both. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Shoot. All right, well, it's probably something like that. But anyways, you can watch the video. It came out about a little over a year ago, that video. But we haven't heard much about it since. But I do like the approach of just being like, no, stop this stupid lame crap that y'all are trying to do, and let's just make it for power. It's kind of like when they made the LaFerrari a while back, and they're using hybrid electric engines, and I remember this comparison made. I think it was James May said this when they were doing the review of the big three: the McLaren P1, the Porsche 918, the Ferrari LaFerrari. Right. 3 hybrid cars. The P1 and the 918 you can run on electric only mode. Basically just powered off the electric. It's only 30, 40 something mile range. Don't quote me on that, but it's not very long range. But you can. Right. Which is cool.
Yeah.
Because if you're just driving around the city and you don't want to sit there, idling,
mode, right? Yeah.
And whatnot, you can. The LaFerrari, it works like a Formula One kinetic energy recovery system and cannot be separated. You cannot drive it only on electric. And when they asked Ferrari why, they said, "We're not interested in making electric cars." I'm just like, that's what I like the approach Dodge has. They're just like, no, screw that. We own Chrysler and Fiat and all the other companies. They can do that crap. We want to make stuff go fast.
Well, it is interesting, though. It's not going to... Like in the ad, it doesn't say it's a hybrid. It says it's a pure EV. Like the first pure EV muscle car.
That's what I'm wondering. Is it pure EV? Is it because they've been very, very hush-hush about this. At least that's what I'm aware of. Let me just double-check their YouTube channel, make sure I'm not talking out my ass here.
I don't know. What does that even really mean? The EV muscle car, are they just going to take a Charger or a Challenger and put electric motors in it and that's it?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, maybe they can make the electric motors actually sound good.
Yeah, that's another thing. How do you make an electric engine sound good? I mean, you have
pumping audio outside the car.
I know, right?
Make it sound like a Hellcat. They just have a speaker in the hood that sounds like a blower.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen Formula E, but those things are so quiet.
Yes.
You hear the tires more than anything else.
You know what? That makes me think. Hold on. There was a new record holder at the Goodwill Hill Climb, and it was an electric car.
Oh yes, I saw that thing. What was that called?
The McMurdy. Are you ready?
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. So this actually is electric, but it also uses a vacuum suction system to hold itself to the ground.
Right. Yeah. Kind of like the T50 and T33.
Watch this thing. It is nuts. Almost sounds like a Jetsons car.
Yeah, I mean, like that's you just hear like a little bit of a whine, and is that
I think that's a vacuum suction system.
is that the suction? Yeah, that's just the suction system you're listening to, right? Like you probably can't even hear the electric motors doing anything.
Look at that thing go though. Just look at that. Phew, just gone.
I mean, yeah, this is seriously impressive, and like there's no doubt that it's impressive. I just
that thing's smaller than a Miata.
I don't know, it's hard to get excited about electric car noise.
Yeah.
Because I mean
if it saves more gas for the rest of us, I'll by all means.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, please drive your electric car so I have more gas.
Yeah, like if gas prices suddenly drop to like $1 a gallon, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know if that
I doubt it, but
yeah, it's one of those things where like an EV muscle car, like the whole thing with a muscle car is that like you get in it and it's got that rumble and like when you slam on the gas, it's like whoa.
Well, it feels alive. It feels, it's got a soul to it. No, I mean I will say like most electric cars are boring. From what I've seen, actually, here's a perfect example.
I mean, a Tesla is already fast, one more time. Right? Or like a Porsche Taycan. Like the Taycan is like already fast. The Tesla is already fast. So like.
Well, have you seen Doug DeMuro's Plaid review?
No, I have not. No.
Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna play a short piece of it.
Okay.
So. I'm just going to get to it. So, Doug DeMuro has driven, for people who don't know, has pretty much driven every car on the planet at this point.
Yeah.
He is a car reviewer.
The Doug score.
Yeah, the Doug score. Okay, here we go. And his reaction to the Plaid was actually pretty impressive. I mean, this is a guy who's driven 1,500 horsepower Bugatti Chirons, all these different electric cars and whatnot. Okay, watch this.
Of the Tesla Model S Plaid. Now it's time to get it out on the road and see how it drives. I'm going to start with what everybody wants to do. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
For those people listening to the podcast, by the way, he's like getting thrown to the back of his seat.
Yeah,
actually, I think we can upload video to Spotify.
Wide open. Yeah, his mouth is wide open, and he's just like, oh.
Yeah, like, and that's somebody, and that's like, whoops. There we go.
You're good.
And that's somebody who's driven everything. He's driven Pagani Huayras, LaFerraris, Porsche 918s, Bugatti Chirons, Koenigsegg Regeras, like 1-to-1s. He's driven everything. To get that kind of reaction out of him is pretty impressive, and I think he had the same reaction with the Rimac as well when he drove the newer version of the Rimac, whatever they're calling it, I don't know. There's so many stupid things out nowadays for these names for electric cars, but I will say, from an enthusiast perspective, I'm waiting for if Dodge can bring performance EV to like that to an affordable level. Because let's be honest, even though the MSRP of one of those Plaids is like $110,000,
right?
They will never sell for that much. They will always, the people who got them will buy them for that much because Tesla sells direct, but they're going to resell them for $200,000 or $250,000 every single time. No, what I would love to see is if Dodge can actually make a cool, fun EV that'll do burnouts and just rip and all that stuff, I'm all for it. I want to see what they do because Dodge, as we know, is not subtle in what they do.
The probably the fastest electric car I've driven is I drove a friend's a Model 3 Performance, and that thing, like in performance mode, that thing like snaps your neck back. Like that thing, it really is pretty violent, really, because when you mat that thing, it goes. But even saying that, I wasn't really having that much fun driving the car. The most fun that we had driving it was we got out on a gravel road and I was just trying to make it like slide. And just like trying to, screw around with it was what was, fun. Like just slamming the accelerator and being like, oh, that's whatever, But I would expect Dodge to like
it becomes kind of a toy at that point,
mode, right?
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, the thing is with like even with the Tesla Model 3, it becomes a toy at that point. It becomes almost like a
It's just a
See, the fun part
transportation
about
device.
driving is the unpredictability.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're just driving an enthusiast car, is pushing it to the limit and figuring out where those limits are. With Teslas, it's kind of just this is what it will do.
Yeah, and you know,
This.
like I turned off like as much of the traction control as I could, like in the little screen. Like, you know, you only have so many options on that thing, and like
Yeah.
it was still real hard to like make it drift. Like it didn't really want to slide around that much. It was kept like correcting itself, you know. So
Well, yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe Dodge will, you know, have one that's
I'd
actually.
love to see it. Oh
fun
my
to
gosh!
drive.
Imagine.
I don't know.
Imagine if they had a solid axle, and they just put under the hood. They actually kept a transmission. It's doable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I
that's
don't-
totally doable. I mean, like I don't know why you would. Maybe just like a 2-speed transmission or something. But
Oh no! Throw a 6-speed in there. Let people throw a stick. Oh my gosh! Could you imagine an electric stick shift?
I mean, yeah,
That
why
would be
not?
something. Oh god, I don't know what kind of clutch you would need for that, considering that it puts 100% torque down at 0 RPM.
Yeah, exactly. Like just a basic car needs a race clutch in it.
Yes, God, it's like a four puck chuck or 4-puck clutch in a stock car. God, everyone's gonna look like they had left leg day. God.
But you know,
That's why
like,
I'm hesitant to throw a race clutch in the Eclipse, because I daily drive that car, and I'm like, I want grip, but I
Right.
don't want my left leg to die.
I don't know. There's ways you can work around that, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oy vey.
the thing that I really don't like about electric cars though is like they're so packed full of like software garbage though. You know, just like
Yeah.
like I was saying that the Tesla, like you couldn't like turn everything off, you know? It's still like regardless of like where you set
And
it.
here's the scarier part. Everything's software controlled and can be remote controlled. I'm okay
Yes.
with software control. Remote access, though, is a little scary.
Well, here's the thing. Like if you cannot control the software that your hardware runs on, then you don't really own your hardware, do you? Right? And that's
No.
one of the big problems with electric cars and like gadgetization. Like I was talking about this earlier about the gadgetization of like your personal vehicle. You know, like Tesla, I don't know if they're the ones that really started this, but you know, you have to have like certain subscription levels to like, you know, enable.
Well, it's almost like buying Microsoft back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, like you'd buy software. That's kind of how the autopilot. As far as I'm aware, I've never owned a Tesla. I've never looked into their stuff that much. But from what I'm aware, I think this is generally known, is like if you wanted autopilot, it was like a $5,000 or $10,000 feature.
Yeah, it's like 10 grand.
That you
It's 10 grand.
But it's
Yeah.
already built into the car.
Yeah.
That's they're almost pulling a Porsche here. It's already there. You just have
all
to
the functionality
unlock
is there, but yeah, you have to basically buy the license for the software.
Yeah, it's like
you know?
it's like being subscribed on like Twitch or something, and there's like subscriber tiers. You know, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it is. Like, yeah, your car is like all tiered out, you know?
or being subscribed to this podcast. You know, shameless plug.
And you know, it's creeping into normal cars too. BMW has started doing this thing where they build all the functionality, all the features into the car, but you have to pay a subscription in order to enable them. You know? And like,
Yeah, well, I guess that's bringing us to our next topic.
yeah, exactly. Like the whole subscription model, it's awful. It's gonna kill. I swear, this is gonna kill personal transportation, because eventually it's just gonna be like, you know, you don't even really own the car. You just pay like a monthly fee, and you know your car exists for you, or you know maybe even another car like shows up. You know, you just like swap it out, which I think some people will enjoy.
I've actually seen that
not
downtown
like me.
Austin. Downtown Austin, there's okay. So
to go?
people don't.
Are you talking about car to go?
I do private security, and I was downtown and I saw it was like a Jeep Renegade, and it's something I think it's called True Car or something
Okay.
like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like you it's like the same sort of thing as those like rental scooters downtown, but it's a car.
Right.
And and what strikes me in the back of my head, by the way, with that, I'm not trying to get too off topic. We'll go back to subscription,
No,
but
it's fine.
what the hell do you do about insurance with that?
Well, I mean, I would assume that they insure it themselves, right? So
Yeah, I guess. I know it's just kind of nuts. I guess that there's something through the app, but my God, I'm like when I go rent a car from the airport, it's like a whole thing. How the hell do you streamline that to an app? But no,
Yeah.
back to the subscriptions though. I am worried about this leaking into the rest of the car industry because as any subscription service, streaming service, whatever knows, it is extraordinarily profitable.
Oh yeah, big time. And like let's say someone buys a BMW and like they want their heated seats, right? So they might pay for the heated seats up front, and then they go like 2 years later and they go like trade it in, right? And then the second user, the second owner comes and buys the car, and then they have to pay again to re-enable the heated seats. Like all the hardware is there. It's ridiculous.
So we're gonna start seeing now is car hacking.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
People hacking into cars, and like they did, like they used to do with like computer software.
Mm-hmm.
They would hack into it to get some more different like stuff in it. But my main thing with this that I'm worried about is it jacking car prices up. Because here's my thing: if everything comes with the car right out of the box, then that means that it's still being the equipment is still being paid for.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Even if you don't unlock it, it's still being paid for. Because like let's take okay, my Mitsubishi Eclipse. I was actually, funny enough, I found a brochure for it from 2003.
Nice.
And there was the GS, the GT, and the GTS, and they ranged. I think it was like 18 grand, 22 grand, and 25 grand. I think that was about the range there. Now, if all of them come and if one came with the leather, like one came with the GTS had leather seats, and the GT had powered cloth seats, and then the GS had a 4-cylinder instead of a 6-cylinder. My problem is if everything comes with it, then every single one of them is going to cost 100 grand. Because it's going to have all of the because
Right.
the company still has to pay for that equipment. It's not like it gets installed afterwards like a dealer option. That's why I prefer dealer option parts.
Well, I mean, maybe not dealer option, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. You want to option out what you want in your car versus yeah. But I mean,
It's like, what if I don't want heated seats? Well, I'm still paying for them.
Yeah, in a way you will be, right? So, yeah.
Unless they
not good.
subtract that cost from the car itself, then it's stupid.
I mean, eventually, you're just going to get to the point where everything is locked down until you release it, and at that point, do you even really own the car? Like how can you say like you own the car? Like if you have to pay a monthly subscription to use it.
Oh God, there's been so many memes going around about that too, where it was like showed a guy driving down the road, and there's like a credit card swiper right there on the dash, and it was like, if you'd like to continue to use your brakes, please swipe now. Card declined. Crash. It's like.
I saw another great one where like someone, it was like POV, you just bought a base model BMW and like they're driving down the road, and like all the little like individual screens, the dash, like everything is like has a little locked symbol, you must pay to unlock.
And most of the time those are just engine, most of the time that's just check engine lights.
Yeah. But what's crazy is that like, okay, you think BMW is doing this crap, right? And like, okay, sure, it's BMW is kind of funny about some things, right? But no, Toyota has even started doing it.
I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, so like the remote start, like on the newest Corolla, and probably on like other cars too. If they're doing it on the Corolla, it's got to be on everything, right? But the remote start, the keyless start, is a subscription based. Like you have to pay the subscription to like remote start your car, even though like all the equipment is there. You could just hit your key fob and it start up. But no, you have
actually that just reminded me of something. I had a 2017 Chevy Sonic, and it had internet built in, but you had to pay $30 a month for internet. That's where this like I just realized that. And also, actually, Chevy's been doing this for a while.
Well, they've had OnStar for a while. Yeah.
Well, no, not even OnStar. The apps, like the actual apps on your phone. I remember this now. Yeah, it was a premium subscription to use the remote start from your phone. If you wanted, you could use it at the key. The key fob had it, and you could still use that.
Yeah.
But if you used it on your phone, it was a subscription. Oh, now I'm remembering that now. But yeah, God, now this is going to start leaking to the whole car industry. Please, no. I know that.
Like we have.
I know that nobody's like. What? Sorry.
So we have to push back because where does it end? You know, like this.
Yeah.
Like heated seats, remote start. Like who really cares, right? But like where does it end? Like do you have to pay a monthly subscription to use your radio? A monthly subscription to use your
XM radio users be like, yeah.
Or like your adaptive cruise control or something.
Yeah,
is that
GPS,
be a monthly subscription? Yeah, it's
your
ridiculous.
speedometer. Your tach is just like, I don't know what RPM I'm at. You want to know? You got to pay this fee, $10.
It's also going to be really interesting when, like you were talking about, the car hacking coming out. It's going to be real interesting. How that plays out.
Oh my gosh,
because
I would love to see that.
What's going to happen? Obviously, it's going to happen. But at the same time, like any website that hosts information on like how to hack your car, like they're going to get DMCA strikes, right? Like they're going to get copyright strikes.
Yeah, but the thing is nowadays, and this is just like movie piracy or literally anything nowadays. It takes 5 seconds to set up a website nowadays.
Right.
And they're just going to copy paste all their stuff from one website to another, and it'll take them another 5 seconds to do it. And and then it takes 6 months for them to get a strike and to get it taken down. So,
yeah, I don't know. Like some of this stuff is being automated now. Like people are building automated systems to go out and look for copyright infringement. And
I know, yeah. Google is getting pretty smart about it, and a lot of the systems are getting smarter. I will say, but scamming's as old as trade itself. If there's a currency, there's a scammer.
Sure. Yeah.
It's gonna happen no matter what. It's like prohibition. They tried, didn't. It's if something's illegal, people want it. It's not a matter of if people will find a way. It's how much of a way they will find, or how easily of a way they will find. People will find a way no matter what.
Yeah.
It's like the guys who tuned out their cats.
Right.
And tuned out the cats. They'll find a way. And yeah, Cobb had to kind of back down for all the Focus owners and all that stuff. Literally everyone was tuning their cats out because they got a little bit greedy.
And see, that's another problem too. Is like these car companies, they'll start using basically the force of government to enforce this stuff, right? Like they'll say like, yeah, you can't modify this car, to enable your heated steering wheel, because that's going to somehow affect the emissions control or some BS like that. And then
I've seen people get software locked out of Teslas.
What's that?
I've seen people get software locked out of Teslas.
Oh yeah,
had to have their Teslas reset because they tried to modify the code, whatever, the system itself, and they got there, and it got bricked essentially.
Oh yeah, your car is going to be a snitch. Like your car is going to like have DRM built into it, so like whenever you try to like modify it, it's going to report back that like, oh, you modified your car. Now you're in limp mode. You got to take it back to the dealer and have it all reset, pay like thousands of dollars,
Yeah, and by the way, to anyone out there who thinks that they are not using that data for their own personal gain, you are kidding yourself. Like, you are 100% kidding yourself if you think that they are not using that personal data. We actually did an experiment on a phone when I worked at Best Buy like 5 years ago. We made a fresh Google account on, it was like some Samsung Note 4 or 5 or whatever it was back then. We made a fresh Google account, just turned on the microphone, and installed Google on there. And what we did is we put it in a sealed box, charged.
Okay.
And once a day, we would open it up and say blueberries, and then close it. We did that for a month. And guess what advertisements started popping up?
Blueberries.
Farm fresh blueberries locally grown near you. If you think that they're not that if they're willing to listen through your phone, they are sure as hell willing to listen through your car.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
absolutely. And another scary thing is too, like Tesla's on the bleeding edge of this, right? Like they're actually, there's great things about Tesla, and then there's really kind of creepy things about Tesla about like this too. But I don't know if you heard, when the whole Ukraine invasion started, like Tesla came out and they said that they disabled all the Teslas in Russia. And it's like, okay, cool, fuck Russia, right? Because, they're assholes. Well, so
Yeah.
that's awesome. But you
have the power to do that.
How did you disable like Teslas that someone else owns? Oh, that's a little strange. And here's what's creepy too is like this exact same stuff is happening in other industries as well. I don't know if you've heard of John Deere. How John Deere has been locking down tractors. And
What?
Yes, yeah. John Deere has been locking down the software in tractors, and like they're basically making it impossible for farmers to repair tractors on their own. Like they have to take it to.
What software do you need in a tractor?
Oh man,
sorry,
dude,
that just made me think.
Yeah, this isn't like your grandpa's tractor though. These things are highly automated and it's crazy, but. The same scenario, like whenever the Ukraine invasion happened,
the automated ones. Okay, no, that makes more sense now. Okay.
They disabled like all the John Deere tractors in Ukraine, like because they could actually tell which ones were being captured and like drug off to Belarus or whatever, and they were just remotely other side of the world like disabling people's tractors. Isn't that crazy? It's why as consumers do we allow this sort of thing to do?
Oh, the consumer gets shafted, dude. The consumer's been getting shafted for years now, and it's just and it's on all fronts. On all fronts we're getting shafted, and this is I'm not trying to get political here. This is a car show, but like no, it's just like quality of stuff has gotten crappier and crappier. It's like I thought we learned from the late 90s. Stop making cheap crap because it doesn't work.
Well, other than becoming a software pirate and a hacker and violating the stupid end user license agreement, it's a copyright infringement if you violate that, right? Well, other than becoming a pirate and a hacker, what can consumers do to fight this? I'm questioning it.
Buying products. Stop buying their products.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's what that's something I've been trying to. This is kind of a little subtopic here with dealerships upcharging.
Mm-hmm.
There was a mass review spam on, I think it was Huntington Beach Ford. They took a Bronco that was a base model Bronco that had an MSRP of, I think it was around $41,000. Do you know how much they listed it for?
Yeah, like 90 something or
$110,000.
That's ridiculous.
$110,000, more than double MSRP.
But someone paid
now
it,
listen,
right?
If there is a low demand for something, I can understand justifiable increase of price. If there is a low demand and people are willing to pay it, I can understand that. But there's got to be a limit. There has to be a limit to how much a percentage over an MSRP you can do it. And Ford's been trying to crack down on it. I do appreciate Ford trying to actually tell dealerships, stop this shit, or we're gonna cancel your, or I don't know how it works with Ford, with franchisee your dealership agreement with them. Well,
it's good because they can cancel allocations if if a dealer starts to violate their franchise agreement, of course. Here's a good example, actually. Hold on a second here.
So you've seen the new Z, by the way. That's another. We can go over to Heritage Cars in a second, but the new Nissan Z. So let's take a look here. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna. I think are they available yet?
I don't think they are. Yeah, not that I know of.
I've seen some of them. I know I've seen it. Okay, so look at this. MSRP 39,990. Right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at. Let's see if there's any for sale yet. I think I've seen a couple. I could have sworn I saw one. Okay, so they're okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're actually
But
for sale anywhere.
the point I was going to make though is, I can almost guarantee you this will never see that price point,
No. Yeah.
which is a shame, because that is a killer price for a 400 horsepower twin turbo stick shift
Yeah.
rear wheel drive fun car.
Well, what's funny is like you see that right there. It's like as shown. It's like 49,999. You know, so.
Well, yeah. No, but even so, like, you still actually get the 3-liter twin turbo on all models, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like,
don't know,
even the proto specs are actually, even the highest end version, this one, I'm assuming still, I don't care about financing. Screw off.
So here's one thing that I think that Ford did do really well is like, yeah, the dealers are doing some shady stuff with, market adjustments and whatnot. But Ford, whenever they launched the Bronco, they actually are letting people order directly from Ford.
Yes. No, that's what I want more people to do.
So-
Direct order from your manufacturer.
Yeah.
Fuck the dealerships.
If you still have to pick a dealer because of the way the ridiculous dealer laws are, but you're ordering directly from Ford, and your price is locked in. Like whatever you choose as far as options go and everything, like that's your price, and the dealer isn't allowed to adjust it.
Yeah.
The ones that they're marking up are like a dealer allocation or someone. I was also seeing this a lot where like someone would order a Bronco, and then as soon as the Bronco came in, the dealer would be like, "Hey, I'll give you like an extra 10 grand over like what you paid for it." And just so it was instantaneous like sell back to the dealer, and then they go and slap that,
Yep.
100%.
Oh no, yeah.
Market adjustment.
I remember when
on
the
there.
Demon came out, the Dodge Demon, the newer one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, newer. Jeez, I want to say newer. It was like a couple years ago now. But I remember when those were coming out, and those were selling for $200,000+ on online. And I'm like, well, one, why would you not just take a Hellcat and put 15 grand into
Modify
it
it,
and give it
right.
1,500 horsepower? You could make it way faster for that money.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying you could make a way better Challenger for 200 grand.
But yeah, but like in a certain respect, like Ford was actually doing like a good thing there with being able to order
Yes.
direct. I don't think
Good guy, Ford.
I don't think Nissan is doing that. Like, what other car manufacturers?
Oh, actually, let's see.
I think from what I've heard, you can't place a direct order with Nissan. You can only place like a reservation with a dealer, and then it's up to the dealer, like whether you get it.
Let's go on an adventure together.
Okay.
Let's go on an adventure. So let's find a car currently for sale. Let's just find a sports cars. Sold out. RIP GTR. All right, let's go with the
Sure,
Nissan Leaf.
Why not? Yeah.
Terrible car, but so let's see here. I'm just gonna sure. So let's see if there's an actual way to order one of these. All right, screw it. I'm just gonna. God, this website is awful. Buy at home.
Okay, buy at home. What the heck does that mean?
I don't know.
You gotta create an account.
With buy at home, you have full pricing transparency. Get a real price with applicable incentives, rebates, taxes, and fees included. Get a real trade offer. See your financing, save your work. So does this actually just bypass the dealership? Oh no! Look, Nissan of New Braunfels.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
But it's not their website. If you look, I don't care. Go away. It's not their website. It's shopathome.carsaver.
What is that? That's not even Nissan's website.
That's not even Nissan's website. So
Yeah, so I don't think Nissan is doing that.
Weird.
And I doubt
it.
I know Toyota isn't doing it either. People are trying to get reservations for the GR Corolla that's coming out. And basically all you have to do is you pick your dealer and you put a deposit down for your dealer, and just whenever your dealer happens to get the car in, you're in line at the dealer. You're not actually like buying a direct allocation from Toyota. And that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So here's
Ford needs to
interesting.
do that, or they need to do it like Ford. But I'll tell you another company that does that is Porsche. Like if you wanted to have your specific Porsche built and made, like you still kind of have to go through a dealer because it has to be like
Well,
delivered
yeah,
and everything.
but at the same time, that's a very limited market. It's not now. It's not as limited as like Ferrari or something like that. But I think we're getting an echo back. Whoops. There we go. It's not as limited. Not everyone's buying $100,000 custom Porsche.
I don't know. Like I feel like Porsche is like
What's huge?
It is. It's big. I mean, like I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Like they're like the.
Also, to be fair, if you're buying a custom Porsche, you're not worrying about the price. You don't care. You're not paying $150,000 for a car and going, man, I wish I would have saved $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever.
Some of the times, like the only way to get like a base model, like a true base model, is to order it, right? Because like whenever you go to a dealership, they're all optioned up, right? But if you really wanted a true like base model, like just basic Carrera with like no options, you would actually have to order that from Porsche,
So I wonder. So here's an interesting question: can you order direct from Porsche? I'm going to look at Porsche's website real quick, actually, while we're doing that. Let's see. Hold on. Just give me a 718 Cayenne real quick.
Yeah, I want you guys to let me know in the comments. Like what other auto manufacturers like can you order direct from? Because I can't think of very many that aren't.
Yep. So if you try to go through here, it just takes you to a dealer contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame.
And that's more legal BS too, because I don't know if you've heard of the Texas Automotive Dealers Association.
It's the dealerships lining the pockets of the freaking I'm not going to get political here, but you know what I mean.
It's a cartel. Just call it a cartel.
Yeah.
Like
it's a cartel.
Like they collude with each other and they collude with government to set the rules, So it's a cartel. That's what it is.
100%. 100%. 100%. Okay, but speaking of the Nissan Z and heritage cars, I want to show this thing off because this is something I've not been this excited about, like a heritage car in a while. So, oh my God, go away advertisements. Ugh. But
the new Heritage Bronco looks pretty sweet. I like it a lot.
It looks so good. The two-tone, the classic lettering on the side, the pinstriping, and the interior. They actually did some good work with the interior too. Hold on, wait for this to load.
That's the leather one.
Look at that.
But I actually kind of like
there's a plaid. Yeah, look, there's plaid.
Yeah, like see if they. Oh, click the next one with that wheel. I love that retro-looking slotted wheel.
Mm-hmm.
That's like fantastic.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's the cloth plaid.
Yeah. I like the cloth plaid the best. I think.
Yeah.
Looks really sweet.
So here's a controversial take. So are they going to have an OJ edition?
Yeah.
Just all white. Just an all white Bronco.
The Heritage edition is actually going back to like the 60s, the 60s Bronco. That's what it's going to look like, and they're
look at that. Oh, that's
a different like slotted
Oh, that's the Ford Escape rebadged as a Bronco looking thing. That actually still doesn't look terrible though. I don't like the red. I don't like the red Bronco front badging on this one. It looks good on the actual Bronco. Mm-hmm. By the way, anyone who thinks that they're Bronco, I'm referring to the Bronco Sport, by the way, for anyone who's listening. Which, if you don't know, a Bronco Sport is literally a Ford Escape, rebodied and rebadged as a Bronco. No,
they never should have named that.
If you're watching, yeah, this is a Bronco.
Absolutely, the full size Bronco is the Bronco. The Bronco Sport is garbage.
Yeah, it's hot garbage.
But man, that one that's on the screen, it looks like it has the Sasquatch package. So I don't know.
This one?
Or if that one right there. I don't know if it's going to come default with the Sasquatch or if it's going to.
Let's take a look.
That's another question I have about the Heritage Edition because The biggest draw for me for the Bronco is it's a new SUV with a manual transmission. And they're kind of limiting the manual transmission to only the 2.3 liter and like certain trim levels. So I really hope they keep the manual for the Heritage Edition. But
Let's see if it'll let me build it. Hold on, I'm curious here. Let's take a look here. So there's a Heritage Limited Edition, and then there's a Heritage Edition. That's weird. Oh, and they have the Raptor coming out. Oof.
Yeah, which the Raptor, that's automatic only. So
yeah, but I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think for an SUV, I'm gonna controversial take here. I personally prefer an automatic, especially for off-roading, because I've driven off-roading before. I actually have a little bit of off-roading experience, and unless you've got a really nice, predictable clutch, if there is any amount of unpredictability in that clutch, I don't know. Just me personally, it makes it a pain in the ass to actually rock climb.
It's to me the manual makes it easier because like you don't really need to touch the clutch, If you have your gears,
I guess if you're low geared, I'm used to sports cars.
Yeah, no.
So.
If you have your gears like set up correctly, like you let out the clutch and then your car just goes. So
yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen it, but like go watch my video where I'm driving the Bronco off road, and it's a manual, and it's like they have this great setup where like whenever you start to let up the clutch, like it automatically gives you a little bump in RPM. And then you just like ease off the clutch and the truck just goes. It's really like fantastic.
Interesting. So they don't actually have the Heritage Edition as a thing. And that's also, did you say what was the Badlands? That's the Badlands.
The Badlands is the highest trim level that you can get with a manual.
Oh, okay. Well, interesting.
Yeah, everything like higher trim level than the Badlands is going to be the automatic only. So
man, I wish they had a Raptor 2-door. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I don't know, like if they'll do the 2-door or not.
Yeah, well, no. So if you look at these ones, these have the option for 2 or 4-door.
Right. Yeah.
And then this one does not. And the Everglades also only comes in a 4-door. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like the 2-doors, but no, yeah, this is just gorgeous. I don't like these wheels. I prefer these wheels.
Ones. Yeah, those white slotted ones. Those are so sweet.
So clean. So clean. Yeah, that and the so what do you think of the new Nissan Z?
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Like, I know a lot of people were complaining about, the front grille being too open and stuff. But what's funny is, like, if you take, like, an older, like, 240Z and you take the bumpers off of it, it looks just like that.
Yeah.
Like it.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you see where the bumper's at, right? If you take the bumper off, which on mine, the bumper is off. So, like...
Yeah, it kind of has that, see, because you got that big open grill right there.
Yeah. Well, look at that gray one right below there.
This one?
No, one up from there. Yeah, that guy. See?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's just a big open maw, just like the.
I will
the
say
Nosy.
the rear end on this thing.
Yeah,
they took like
the
lights of a 300Z.
Yeah, it looks like a Z32. It does. It looks like a Z32 in the back, but a little bit more like sculpted.
My favorite generation of Z is the T-top. 2+2.
Yeah.
Z32. The 300Z.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the body lines on that car. It is just awesome. No, this thing is gorgeous. And I love the idea of heritage cars. Hyundai just did their Envision too, which I wish they would make a real car.
Yeah, that's just a the 74. Yeah, that thing looks so sweet.
Why can't they make these real cars? Come on, Hyundai. Make something streetable. People will buy it. They will. They'll buy it.
Yeah, they absolutely would buy it. Like that would be so sweet. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Please, for the love of God, buy it. Oh God.
But I would take the new Z over the Supra.
Yeah, no, there was a big comparison about that actually. But when you look at the pricing on it, it's kind of interesting because like the Supra ends up typically coming out around 10 or 8 or 10 grand more expensive.
Yeah.
But if you look at the performance numbers, you actually get a lot more bang for your buck out of the Z. And in my personal opinion, I think the Z looks better.
Well, you know what the best Supra is, right? It's the M2.
What?
Yeah. What's crazy is like the lower rung, like the basic M2, it costs as much as the Supra, and it's just like, get the M2. It's gonna be better in like every way.
Man, I wish there was more variety in the sports car market nowadays. It feels very cut and dry. I wish they would bring the Eclipse back. I wish they would bring the Evo back. Come on, Mitsubishi, stop making shit cars and start making like sports cars again. Make some competition for Subaru. Subaru has no competition in its field right now.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The GR Corolla, I think that thing's gonna be pretty badass. You know,
fair enough.
So
that's a fair point, actually. But that's more of a hatchback.
We actually get less things here, I think, than other countries do. You know, so
Stupid safety regulations.
Yeah, it really is like EPA and safety. Like that, it really cuts out a lot of cars. But,
man, I miss the days when it was super competitive. Like the late 90s, or 80s, 90s, and 2000s. I feel like after the recession, after 2008, everything's like became very cut and dry. Like,
so you're a lot younger than I am. I'm like the 90s I guess is like my decade. You know, kind of the 80s, 90s, right? But so it's really interesting to hear you say that because I feel like the 90s is like peak automotive engineering. You know, maybe not peak automotive design aesthetically, but engineering wise, like like if you just want a car, like for just a car, you can't beat like a 1996 Toyota Camry. You know, that's like that's the ultimate car, right? Or even like
it will run until the end of time.
Yeah. Or like, you know, talking about BMWs, like the best BMW that was ever made ever is like the E39 M5, you know? Like I don't care what anyone else says, like, you know, the peak BMW was E39 M5, you know, and that went from like 96
it was right before they got
2002.
super overcomplicated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No.
A fantastic chassis and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think it's kind of funny to hear, you know, someone younger than me say that, you know, the 90s was where it's at. It's because it's like, I agree the 90s was where it's at, but that's because I'm old. You know?
Fair enough.
So what
when I look at
Tell
those
me what
cars,
happened,
like, I just miss the simplicity of it. Like, for people who don't know, I actually had a 65 Mustang at one point. Ended up pulling it out of San Antonio, restoring it, and ended up selling it actually a couple months back. Actually ended up selling it and 2 engines with it to the guy. He was going to do a whole swap and everything. But funny story, I was at a car meet and I was bored and I was trying to get my radio to work, and legitimately the original AM radio from 1965 still works.
That's great.
Still works and sounds amazing. And I'm like, and you know, like a 2020 Ford Expedition 50 years from now will have 75 problems.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Or that inline 6 in that Mustang, we just threw some new spark plugs in it and a new carb, popped right off. No problems. And everything worked. They don't build cars like they used to.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like it's kind of funny. You go back to like the 70s and stuff, and things were kind of like falling apart, right? They take a lot of maintenance, but yeah, once you get up into the 90s,
EPA regulations emissions regulations really took a toll on the American muscle car scene.
Yeah, and the imports too. Yeah, for sure. You know, like the very first thing anyone does to like a 75, you know, anything that was imported is like take all the U.S. emissions crap off of it, like put it back to Euro spec, instantly gets like 20 more horsepower.
Yep. Oh yeah. No, it's nuts. Well, like with the Abarths, if you look at the multi-air versus the T-Jets,
right?
Versus the T-Jet engines, those T-Jet engines can be pushed to like 450 horsepower, heavily modified.
Yeah.
where like the multi-airs are limited to. I think what can you safely push on a multi-air 1.4 block? I'm trying to remember.
You usually end up blowing up the transmission first, but like it's usually around like 250. You know, that's about all you can do. But the thing is like the block on the multi-air and the T-Jet is the same. It's the same block. The difference.
No,
is
it's
the
just
head.
it's just the head
Yeah.
that's really limited. Which I know some guys do T-Jet swaps, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I mean, like
I do miss my Abarth every once in a while.
You should get another one, man.
No, I don't want the Italian pricing for parts.
Mopar pricing.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, but they charge Italian prices for Mopar crap. I'm like, why?
Yeah, you just have to look a little bit more. You have to dig.
I know. I just, man, I remember just like.
You gotta tell them you have a.
Oh yeah,
game,
this headlight's like 600. Oh, I know. No, if I was gonna get another one, I'd probably get a 124 Spider.
Yeah. Oh, I love mine. Like that's,
yeah, I
like
need to get a lowering bracket for the seat though, because actually, when I was shopping for my 500, I test drove a 124 Spider, and with the stock seat, my head was the roof line was right here with my head.
Really?
Because a lot of people don't know this. I'm 6'2".
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a big guy, and I'm mostly torso.
Yeah.
I'm a good chunk torso, and legitimately in the seat's lowest setting, the roof line for the windshield was like right here. And I'm like, oh sweet, so if we get into a rollover, I'm dead.
Yeah,
awesome.
I suppose that's where it's at for me too. But you know, I'm used to small cars, so it doesn't bother me.
Oh no, same. Yeah. I think that just about wraps it up. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No. Well, I think you know, I'm like testing the cheapest welding machine on Amazon. So hopefully I can finish that test up tomorrow and get the video out for that. So if you're subscribed to my Book Auto Works YouTube channel, you can watch for that. But
yeah, we're also going to upload this there. Brain fart.
Yeah, so you can find this on Spotify under Roadster Rants, and then also on Book Auto Works YouTube channel, also titled Roadster Rants. So that's where you find us.
Awesome.
What about you? What do you have going on this week?
Not much. I did order new brakes for the Eclipse, actually, and it turns out, see, this is what I love about Mitsubishi. I took the brakes off of a Mitsubishi Endeavor, which is like a 5,500-pound SUV, and it turns out they bolt right up to my Eclipse.
That's cool.
So I'm going to get, and the rotors are 1.5 inches bigger, and it's a dual caliper piston versus a single caliper that are stock on the GTs.
That's a good old school like hot rodding trick, you know, like take truck brakes off of something that like fits on your car, you know, and like slap it on.
Funny enough, the Brembo, Brembo 4-piston big kit for that car is about $1,300 for 2 calipers, vented rotors, and pads from a Endeavor. $190.
Yeah, wow, there you go, man.
Yeah. So I like the OEM Plus approach. Yeah. Like I actually just swapped 4th gen Eclipse seats into my 3rd gen because they sit lower and they're more bucket style. But it was like $40 a seat at the junkyard that I just picked them up, bolted right up.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's good stuff. I like stuff like that. Well,
cool, man. Well, have fun with your welding, and I will try to get this audio uploaded tonight. So you should see it. Hopefully, it's usually either Friday or Saturday. We try to do these things.
Yeah. We both have jobs, so it's fluid. But,
we both work full time.
We'll catch you guys again like next week.